Food for Thought with Professor
It
David.
is yet another beautiful day where we get to have conversations with Professor Ndetei. It is Food for Thought with Professor Ndetei. About 2 weeks ago, we began an interesting conversation on antisocial personality disorder. And it's a very interesting subject. You know, one of the things I love about these discussions is the awareness it's creating. Some issues, we interact with them, we see them, but we don't really know what they are or how to define them. And through this forum, we're getting to understand some things that we may think, anakuwaga tu namna hiyo, but maybe they have a condition and they can receive the help they need. So we get back to where we left off last week as we continue with antisocial personality disorder. I'm just wondering, Professor, because we live in a generation
Yes.
where people push the boundaries.
Yes.
You know, people ask who said that is how normal people behave.
Mm-hmm.
People want to be unique. People want to be different. And so I find that a lot of our young people are pushing a lot of boundaries today. So I don't know how you can classify that. You know, we live in a world today where if you look at our young people, they have a lot of piercings, they have tattoos. You know, what was considered socially,
Yes.
it's no longer what they look at. Them, they want the other extreme.
Yes. I think in any society, the behavior tends to evolve with time. What was considered abnormal at a particular time, people are beginning to accept it as normal. These, of course, are antisocial, against the prevailing normal way of doing things. I think once when you begin to see some of these traits emerging, children want to have tattoos, want to do all these kind of things, and they want to do things in a particular way. The parents are old-fashioned; they do not understand, and even if you try to punish them, they will not change. I think it is a sign that something might be cooking.
Okay.
Yes. So you need to be on the alert. But it's difficult for everybody, you and I and everybody, because things are changing. The society is changing. Yes.
It's changing very fast.
You are old-fashioned. Sometimes instead of fighting you, some of them will fight you. Others will just say you are just like that babu, that bob tree. They don't want to fight you, but they just want to go around you and leave you alone. Maybe if our child is taking that kind of approach, we can't change this man, and the best way is just to go around him, live in peace. I think that is more positive than saying I'm going to have a confrontation with you, I start fighting with you. Then again, that is a problem, because it is also against the society to fight against your parents. Okay. It is not accepted.
It's not acceptable.
It's not accepted. It might be absolutely wrong, but you don't do it.
Is there a test that one can do to figure out if they have antisocial personality?
Yes, there are instruments that have been developed. The the American Psychiatric Association has just revised their criteria for diagnosis of different types of personality disorders. Okay. The one I am sitting on is by World Health Organization. The Americans tend to have their own classification. We call it DSM. For now is 5. The World Health Organization has an international classification of diseases. We have now 10th version. Now we are in the process of revising for the 11th version, which will come into place next year. Okay. And this is where I say we have had some difficulties trying to classify this and standardizing it for different parts of the world because the different contexts. So it is true that there are these different criteria, but all of them would fall into the categories that I've mentioned. It's just to go back to it. It tends to be pervasive, goes on for a long time, but then of course towards the end it tends to burn out. It tends to start a little bit earlier as conduct disorders, which at the age of 18 become antisocial behavior.
Yeah.
It has problems with immediate family members, peers, place of work, so that this person, if he's at a place of work, is always a very difficult person at place of work.
Yes.
I don't know why you are looking at them. Do they qualify?
No, these are nice people.
That's what I thought.
Maybe I'm the difficult one. I'm just trying to check with them if I'm the difficult one. But that is so true.
Yes.
There are people everywhere they go, no one seems to be able to get along with them.
Yes.
You know, and they're always blaming other people.
Absolutely.
They never take the responsibility.
They never take the responsibility.
Yeah.
Yes. It's always you, and you deserve it.
Yes.
And if it pains you, they get more.
They get pleasure from
They
it.
get pleasure. It can be in relationships, within marriage. I think many problems, marriage problems that you see is because of somebody with a personality disorder, and then the spouse thinks that this is just a difficult man or there's a problem, and it could be a personality disorder.
Oh.
And they don't know, and they don't know, and. If you say you diagnose me, I like giving myself as an example because it can happen to anybody, and I'm a human being like anybody.
Yes.
If it happens to me, and I enjoy causing you problems or causing children or my wife problems, and I enjoy it, it will take a lot of time to make me see it in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
And that's where therapy or counseling can be helpful.
Okay.
Because in counseling, you help people to have insight into their problems, to understand their problems. Yes.
You know, earlier on you said more men than women suffer from this. Is there a reason?
You see, there are very many things that we observe in medicine. And we say this condition is more common in men. So it's not just unique in the case of personality disorders, but then it is just a finding. And I think the reason is even when you are talking about different types of mental disorders, men tend to externalize their behavior.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tend to externalize. Women tend to internalize. Yes. And that may be the explanation for some of these gender differences.
Okay.
Is it because of hormonal things to do with hormones? Is it something to do with the way they are wired? Is this something to do, say, with the fact that women will smell things that men can't smell? Yeah.
Women can smell things men cannot smell.
Yeah.
That
You get stories of men who go on doing funny things.
Yes.
And they go with perfume and they don't think they are carrying
They can't even smell it.
They can't smell it.
Yes.
And then the wife says, that perfume. Where have you been?
Oh my goodness.
They can smell things that they say men are colorblind. Yeah.
Yes.
And women will see differences between this and that.
Yes.
And this.
And as we are thinking, it's one color.
It's just one color.
Yes.
For me, it's either black or white.
Yes.
Red or blue. And these boundaries, these things, we don't see them, but they will see you and they tell you, there are those differences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we give practical examples of how this would manifest in an adult? I'm just thinking for the person who's watching us or listening to us and they're thinking, okay, tell me something so that if I see it, I know it.
Yes.
What kind of behaviors do these kinds of people exhibit?
Very, very simple.
Uh-huh.
The first criteria is that this person is involved in behavior that is outside the socially acceptable boundaries of normal behavior. That's a starting point.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And as I said, it can vary from family situation, from marriage situation, from work situations, from criminal activities, whatever. But that is a fundamental definition. Number two, when this person is involved in this antisocial behavior,
Yeah.
do they enjoy it or not enjoy it? Do they blame other people for their behavior? They have no behavior, but they blame other people. It is you. It is your fault. You deserve this. You deserve this. You deserve this. When you see that kind of thing, even in a marriage situation or in a relationship or in a work situation, then you are probably dealing with antisocial behavior.
Okay.
And you see, when we talk about antisocial behavior, it's not only in one area. It tends to be pervasive and it tends to go on and include other things. So those little symptoms, like aggressive, deceitful, manipulative, taking advantage of other people, each one of those you can say it is a trait. It's like when you see that one, and that one, and that one, and this one, different variations, different severities, different situation, then you put them together, you start seeing, then you have a problem. That's when you can say, yes, I'm dealing with this type of a problem.
Okay.
The question is, what do you do?
Well, asanteni sana. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for being a part of Food for Thought with Professor Ndetei. We'll get back to this discussion yet again next week as we talk about antisocial personality disorder. Have yourselves a great weekend. Hopefully, we connect again next week.
Food for Thought with Professor David Ndetei.